Government settles first coupon for bonds affected by DDEP. This story is put together by Neat Latte of the Citi Newsroom, and the story is on the citinewsroom.com. The government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Finance, has begun the process of settling the first coupon payment of bonds affected by the Domestic Debt Exchange Program, DDEP. Now, according to the ministry, the matured coupons amount to 2.4 billion cedis, and instructions have already been sent for settlement. The DDEP was launched in 2022 in an effort to restructure Ghana's unsustainable debt burden. Under the program, eligible bondholders were given the option to exchange their old bonds for new bonds with lower interest rates and longer maturities. The coupon payments for the affected bonds was agreed to be 5%, which was lower than the interest rates on the old bonds. However, there were initial market uncertainties about whether the government would be able to make the 5% coupon payment, but the Ministry of Finance has allayed these concerns, stating that a settlement of the first coupon payment is consistent with the government's commitment to the continued success and credibility of the country's domestic debt operations. The ministry also noted that the new bonds that were issued under the DDEP now stand as the dominant instruments in the domestic bond market. Meanwhile, economist Courage Boti says government's payment of these first matured coupons gives some confidence in the capital market. Courage Boti commended this payment as a positive step, urging the government to maintain consistency in this regard. He also urged government to make adequate provisions for principal payments of bonds. Now, we should be excited about this.
I don't even know why we are glorifying this. People have died. Fema?
Yes.
People have died. People who have committed their adult life in serving this country, waking up at dawn to go and work for Mother Ghana, invested in the most surest avenue of any investments under this planet Earth, buying government coupons. And as of the time they were even purchasing those coupons, Fema, the rates were as high as 19, 20, 22%. You come, then at the end of the day, based on your recklessness, today, a country like Ghana, we have our grandparents picketing at Ministry of Finance just to ask for their money. You devalue their money by cutting down the rates. If I invested at a rate of 20%, then you come to tell me you are giving me 10%, the value of my money is gone by half. I have planned my life because I don't want to be a burden on my children. I know that at the end of the month, if whatever I have invested, whatever that comes out of it, I will use it to buy my BP and other drugs because those illness comes with the age. Fema, you allow these people to go through this, giving them promises upon promises. And now, even at this lower rates, you are not even able to pay all. I don't know why I should glorify this. I am only urging this government. And remember, I would have been very surprised if the government hadn't made any move. Because in this era that we are finding billions of cedis in ministers' apartments, in this era, and you can't find money to pay bondholders, I will be very surprised. So, I mean, they have to do it. Probably they are collecting some of the monies, putting them where they are supposed to be. The fact is that we should never lower the standard for this government. Because I have realized that Ghanaians have higher expectations of the NDC. Because the things that President Anado and his cohorts are doing, if NDC had done a bit of this, we couldn't have breathed in this country. So my conclusion was that Ghanaians have higher expectations of us, and we are very grateful. But this government should not go scot-free because they like their way to power. They will not borrow. They are borrowing. They won't do family and friends. Now it is their family in government. A whole lot. And now pensioners, in the history of this country, for the last 4 decades, we are experiencing the poverty that we have never seen in this country before. Pensioners come to beg you for their monies. And we had our own mother, Sophia Kufu. She was asking them, where are the monies? All the monies. And you know, she was in charge of the COVID fund. I told you COVID gave Ghana much money. And she knew the monies. So she was asking her government, where are the monies? Please, these are old people. They are not young people that can have alternative. Pay them their monies. They bought the rate at a very high rate. If you are devaluing their money, at least give them the honor, pay them what they are due, and let them have their peace of mind. They are suffering. They have done a lot for this country, and the least we could do for them is to do this. When we have monies lying down in ministers' home.
Laura too.
Yes.
So at least now, after the back and forth and all, payments have begun.
Frema, you see, the worst thing that can happen to anyone is to wake up someone who's pretending to be sleeping. And those are our compatriots. See, with their dead goat syndrome, you don't expect them to see anything good in this. But look,
Live up to your
challenges
standard.
that we are having, and I agree, Ghanaians have very high expectations of the NPP, so the standards definitely don't have to be lowered.
Oh, no,
we
no.
can lower it for them, but for us,
With
we
this
still
kind of
try
government.
as much as possible to keep yeah. And one thing they should realize is that propaganda doesn't fix the economy. That's
Ask
what they
Baumia.
did and took us and said we're dead good. But
Ask
be as it
Baumia.
may, look, we've been through very trying times. When we set off to make that very difficult decision that the president had to make for us to go for support from IMF based on our program, the PCPEG program. It was a difficult decision to take, but it only takes a candid person and someone who has his nation at heart to take such a bold decision. There was no pride in it because that was where we had gotten to.
Yeah.
We went in there. It came with certain structural adjustment we had to do. One of the things that had to be done was DDEP. Not a very interesting conversation to have. I mean, definitely someone has anticipation of getting a certain quantum of money
did we
within a
get
certain period. But when we have to go, what was the appeal? The appeal was let's come together and help bring back our economy. It wasn't like anybody went to put a gun to someone's head. People came. It was successful. We pushed for it. Certain promises were made, and one of them is paying the coupons when they are matured.
Yeah.
It's gotten there. That shows you a government that is committed to its people and wants to get things right. We are in challenging times, no doubt about it. But when problems are created, you leave it to people who can solve it, not people who come and talk. I'm also talking about people who is dead, who have died. Unborn babies die during kingdom. So
they
those
should keep
are not things
dying.
we need to be talking about. Nobody
but
wishes
if we
anybody
keep doing
to
the
die.
same
But
things,
the
how are we going to get the
NDC
change?
You see, what we need to realize is it's high time we tell the NDC if they don't have alternatives, they should keep quiet.
But Ghanaians really are also saying that both of you, NDC, NPP, is also about time that things are done differently,
beg to differ.
like
I
reducing
beg
the size
I
of
beg
government.
to differ if you're comparing the NDC to the NPP. We all know the standards, like she herself said.
There will be no
NPP
haircut.
has higher standards.
I never
Their
made
challenges.
that.
Look,
never
politics,
made that
like
comment.
any other institution, has
There will be no
humans in
haircut.
it. There are human
Who said
issues
that?
to it, but it can get better if we all get together. And sure, you see, this attitude of we and them has also helped.
The NDC and the
People
NPP are
put
never
into
the same.
positions. We all
Never.
need to make it a conscious effort to make sure they do.
You know,
what they
whether
put there to do.
NPP or
We are
NDC,
never the
for me
same.
as a Ghanaian, I want to
Fema,
be
we are
able
never
to
the
get
same.
my salary to do the basic things that
Exactly.
we are doing.
That's
And
what
that
you're
is why,
entitled
security.
for instance,
You need
That's
to
what you're
speak as
entitled
a
to.
journalist
Yeah.
without looking
That's
back.
what you're entitled to.
Frema, NDC and
You are
NPP are never the
entitled
same. You
to
are comparing apples with
decent,
oranges.
secured, like your security, your basics, and all
Yeah.
that. And that is what we push to do.
Frema, we
But
can
if-
never
if-
be the
if
same.
we do
we need
things,
to get our economy at a point where we don't need to be going 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. And that is where we've got into. At the end of the day, what is government? It's
There will
all
be
of
no
us.
haircuts.
Who makes the government? It's the citizenry.
but are there
You get it?
deliberate measures being put in place to ensure that, so for instance, we've gone back to the IMF, even though we said we are not going back.
But
How
it's a
are
program,
we?
It's a
Yeah,
program that will end.
It-
And
yeah,
it's
it will.
all of us.
And then
With government
it
leading,
comes to
having
my
a chunk
question
of the
that
responsibility
how do
to
we
make
ensure
this
that we won't
17th
go
one
back?
is the last. Look, how do you ensure? we
Because
go
we
back?
heard that
It's
the 16th
policies-
one was the
it's
last,
it's
and
the
we are
policies-
back.
It's the policies you put in place.
Yes.
What's the major one? The major one is having a lot of relying on domestic inputs. I mean, NDC may decide that 1D1F is a but over 100 factories are gradually they will grow. Right, they will employ. All those things. It's up to us to build. It's up to us to.
But you don't think that the
patronize
size of government
local
is too huge?
That's a conversation for another day because you have a constitution that doesn't put a cap on who.
Yeah.
So
And every
150.
president comes with a vision. Every president comes with what they want
And
to
he
do.
said he was in a hurry.
If the president comes and says, I need this number of people, the Constitution has given the sole prerogative to the executive leader, the president, who comes with a vision and has a way that that vision will be decided. Certain ministries were set up. They were scrapped when they served their purpose. And
so the Zongo ministry is scrapped because it served its purpose.
Where they were
now Nima is like Villaggio.
Institutionalized. You get it. You don't. After you achieve what you said to do, there are certain things. I mean, let's face it. There are certain things when they don't have ministerial backing, don't go anywhere.
I'm sure we'll come back. I'm very interested in this side of the conversation. But our money is finished.
NDC and MPP, we can never be
the standards are obviously higher when it comes to MPP.
There will be
and
no
Mago
haircut.
herself said that.
We will not go to IMF. We are a sovereign country.
One-time premium.
Ghana beyond aid. One district, one factory.
One district,
one
factory,
district,
over
$1 million.
Over 120.
I have been a municipal chief executive before.
But
do
you see,
know
you
how
can't
much $1
wake
million
someone
can do
who's
to
so at the end of the day, we just look at whether it's MPP or NDC, how our bread,
now is the family at the
how
Jubilee
our
House.
bread is battered as Ghanaians, and that is what we are looking for. So whatever policies that NPP government, NDC government will put in place, it must ensure that the Ghanaian is in a better place.